Okay, man, don't even know where to begin here. So, there's been so many stories in the news that I've only half researched, and it's just ridiculous. So this NASCAR guy died. I'm gonna come back to that, but I wanted to talk about Michael Jordan here. I've I made so many videos on Michael Jordan back in like February to probably May, sometime around there, and I haven't really made a whole lot of videos about him since. But there has been stories about Michael Jordan in the news, like every day. I swear there's a news story about something just stupid. I mean, and Michael Jordan has been retired for years, so I don't get like why all of a sudden Michael Jordan is just such a big deal in the news. But anyway, this news story, the jury awards Michael Jordan $8.9 million for his name's use. Really? So I don't know how many times we've mentioned 89 with the Queen and whatnot, and I mentioned Michael Jordan because of Space Jam and Valentine's Day and Lupercalia. It all stems back to the NBA All Star Game, and whatever they're doing, they're using Space Jam. In the movie Space Jam, Michael Jordan, in his house, he even has his basketball jerseys up on the wall, and literally it's 9 and 23. And at the end of the movie in Space Jam, uh, what is it? 9 tunes get hurt, and then they bring in Bill Murray, who is number 22, and Michael Jordan was surrounded by a 922. 922 and 923. There's a lot of it. And the Pope is coming on 922 or the night of 922 into 923. He even was um, he played for 9 seasons before he retired. The first time he retired was on 10-6, so like 106. And we've talked about that number dealing with the Philadelphia train wreck and the Pope's visit. It's also the same as 923 when you convert it from Gregorian to Julian. And it's just funny with the 89 because that is a total reference to Queen Elizabeth because she's 89 years old this year and whatnot. Made tons of videos on it. I mean, Michael Jordan, they even call him, like one of his nicknames is even like His Majesty, like royalty and whatnot. So, anyway, I never noticed a few other things about Michael Jordan, so I just kind of wanted to point these out. Um, So his very last game ever, so he retired in 1993 on 10-6, and then he came out of retirement in 2001, I believe. Yeah, September 25th, 2001. And I mean, just read here. Jordan announced his return to the NBA to play for the Washington Wizards, indicating his intention to donate his salary as a player to a relief effort for the victims of September 11th, 2001 attacks. So literally, what, 14 days after September 11th, Jordan decided to play and donate his salary. And then it says, he led the team in scoring 22.9 points per game. Wow. The 922. Also, 5.2 assists a game. I don't know how many times we have mentioned 52. Michael Jordan is even 52 years old this year. Um, Even his birthday is February 17th, and February 17th to 923 this year. And here, I just pulled it up. So his birthday is 217, the 48th day of the year. And if you go to 922, it's 217 days away. Kind of weird, you know, born on 217, 217 days away. But anyway, let's go back to here. And actually, before I even go any further, I want to prove. So the first time that Michael Jordan retired and then left to go play baseball was on October 6th. Like I said, just wanted to prove it. October 6th, 1993, 10-6, kind of like 106. So then he comes back and he plays for the Wizards, and then where is it here? So he played for the Wizards. I showed you the points and whatnot. And if you don't understand the numbers, I'll leave a link to a video that I made that explains the numbers a little bit better so you understand what 52 means and how it goes with 923 and whatever. But anyway, it says that Michael Jordan's final NBA game was on April 16th, 2003, and none other than Philadelphia. And I have made so many videos about Philadelphia and the Pope coming to Philadelphia and the Philadelphia train. I mean, think of all of the train wrecks that have happened in the news lately, or just the idea of it. You know, you have Jared from Subway, like the train, whatever. Then you had the Philadelphia train wreck. You've had the shooting at the movie train wreck. You had the Nicholas Winton guy who died at 106, and he was known for saving the Jew children on a train. I mean, it's ridiculous. But Michael Jordan's final NBA game, first time he retired, 10-6, final NBA game, the second time he retired, the 106th day of the year in Philadelphia. And I mean, read this. It's so ridiculous. So, Jordan went out. He had 13 points with 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. But then the crowd started chanting, they want Mike, we want Mike. And he came back in with 2 minutes 35 seconds. At 1:45 left in the game, he was intentionally fouled by Eric Snow and stepped to the line and made both free throws. After the second foul shot, the 76ers inbounded the ball to rookie John Salmons, who in turn intentionally fouled Bobby Simmons 1 second later, stopping the time so that Jordan could return to the bench. Jordan received a 3-minute standing ovation. So, there was 1 minute and 45 seconds left, and Jordan was still in the game, and then they passed the ball in and fouled him with 1 second gone. That means that Jordan retired on the 106th day in Philadelphia, or his last game, I guess. 106th day in Philadelphia with 144 remaining in the game. And we have talked about 144. 144 goes along with the 8-9 because August 9th is 8-9, and it is the 221st day with 144 days remaining. Are you kidding me? And 221 is also the 52nd day of the year. So, I mean, give me a break. It's insane. I can't believe I never looked that much more into this, but I guess I didn't know anything about Philadelphia back in February, so. And what's even crazier is that I made a video about how the capital of Jordan, the country Jordan, originally, a long time ago, was called Philadelphia until the year 106 AD. What are the odds of that? No way. It's so. His whole career was planned, set up. I don't care what anybody says. It's rigged, big time. And there's tons of other stuff. You can go back and watch previous videos, but Michael Jordan was on the Dream Team and he was number 9, and then his main number was number 23. He did come back and wear 45 for 22 games, and on the 23rd game, he went back to number 23. He wore number 12 once on Valentine's Day. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But he's also the owner of the Charlotte Bobcats. Now, this is going to lead into the NASCAR stuff that I've also talked about. So, the Charlotte Bobcats. And then we had Princess Charlotte, who was also born on May 2nd, 5/2, the 122nd day of the year this year. But a long time ago, I talked about the two Bushes, both not being in NASCAR in the beginning of the year, and they were replaced by Reagans. And it was really weird, like the Bushes and the Reagans and whatever. And Kyle Busch was in a car and was in a wreck, and he was born on May 2nd, so 5/2, but he was in a wreck on 2/21, which is the 52nd day of the year. If I can pull that up here. So yeah, he was in Daytona, February 21st. That is the 52nd day of the year. He's born on 5/2, and I can't even remember all of it, but I had talked about how I feel like something's going to happen in Charlotte. I feel like maybe someone's going to wreck and die in Charlotte. So, no big deal. Nothing happened on the All-Star race, whatever. But then just recently, a guy died in a sprint car driver died. So this guy, James Campbell Jr., he died in a Pennsylvania wreck or whatever in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at Williams Grove Speedway. and I made a video on that, and I explained in depth a little bit more of the Bush thing and whatnot in 5.2. But I mean, that was not like what, a week ago or something. It was August 14th, so yeah, like 10 days ago. Just so pointing that out, I guess in or it's not Philadelphia, but Pennsylvania. And then today, this guy died, Justin Wilson, an IndyCar driver. So I know neither one of them are Sprint Cup, and that's what I sort of predicted. But I'll show you why that's interesting in a second. But this guy died, and there's so much of this stuff that ties to Princess Margaret, who actually died on 2/9 of 2002, kind of like 2/9/2, and all these 58s and these theater shootings and the train wrecks. The train shooting was even on her birthday, or what would have been her 85th birthday. But anyway, I'm gonna make a whole separate video on that. I gotta organize it and whatnot. But this guy dies at age 37. So I mean that goes back to the last time that a horse won the Triple Crown. So, and I've talked about that and the 52s and what it has to do with Queen Elizabeth. But moral of the story is he died at Pocono in Pennsylvania. Or well, he was injured in an accident at Pocono on Sunday, and then he died today. But he also died. This is in Pennsylvania, and he died in Pennsylvania as well. So here, just pulling it up here. So, he died in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and he was injured in the accident at Pocono, which is also a triangle raceway, but it's in Pennsylvania. So the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. So hopefully I haven't lost you, but what interests me the most is that I talked about how I thought somebody is going to die in Charlotte, and nobody's died in Charlotte. I mean, I said NASCAR originally, but then I was talking about Sprint Cup. But Charlotte just seemed like it was, I don't know, it stood out. It was it was on 5.2, and it was all about the 52s. And so I re-looked up when the races were in Charlotte, and go figure, the actual race in Charlotte, so they had the Sprint Showdown, the All-Star race, and then the actual race was on the 144th day of the year. And then, let's see here. They raced in Pennsylvania at Pocono on August 2nd, the 214th day of the year. We talked about how that 214 is Valentine's. It all goes back to Valentine's, Lupercalia. But what's interesting about that is, so August 2nd to 9/23, that we've been talking about so big with the Pope coming, is 52 days and 1 month, 21 days. So 52 days, huge number. Also 1 month, 21 days. The word revelation adds up to 121. I looked up Kyle Busch then, and at Pocono on 8.2, he started in first place and finished in 21st place. So 121. I mean, really. So, I guess who knows? I just find that pretty interesting. The 52 days away from 9/23, and then there's still a race in Charlotte. So, whatever. Maybe no one will die. Hopefully no one dies. But, I don't know. It's so super coded, it's ridiculous. All these things tie in together, and they've been putting them in the news. It's just insane. Also, the day of the first death then was 8/14, and if you go to 10/4, it's 52 days away. And that's somewhat interesting because the race that day will be in Dover, Delaware. If I can pull it up here. Dover, Delaware, October 4th. And if you go to Dover, it actually is it's its own town or whatever, but it's in the Delaware Valley, and it says it's a part of Philadelphia, Reading, Camden, whatever combined statistical area. So found that kind of interesting. So who knows? But some crazy stuff. Have a great night.